What is up, guys, and welcome back to another week of building KASHYYYK here on the SW Bricks and Figs channel. I took a week off last week because I was away on holiday, but we're back this week, and boy do I have a sick episode for you. We get a load of stuff done. We carry on working on the hallways and prison section that we worked on in the last episode, as well as moving on to some really big planning, as well as also starting the huge sap vats, which was a huge challenge. I poured tons of hours into those big sap vats this week, and I'm really proud of what I have to show you guys, so definitely stay tuned till the end of this video to see everything we get done in this week's episode. But yeah, I had not much more to say this episode. If you guys want to go check out the sponsors, Firestar Toys and Minifig Customs, I'll be leaving links down below to them. There was one live stream dono to shout out this week, and that was from Beanie Boy Bricks, so definitely thank you to you for donating. And definitely if you guys are interested in coming along to the live streams, we do them once or twice a week here on the channel, and it gives you guys a good sneak peek into what we're building, as well as a chance to just chat with me and hang out with me and other people that come along to the streams. It's really good fun, and I would urge you to come along to them. But yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into episode number 16. Okay, so this week we got straight to work extending the prison cells onto the next side of the base plate. So this piece right here has to be separate from the one we've already done, but it will be sat next to, obviously connected, but there'll be a split in the base plate, so there has to be a split in the middle here as well. So we just went ahead, raised this up, and started to work on the prison. So sit back and enjoy this time lapse at the start of this episode, and I'll cut back in just a second. So I had to work out whether I really wanted to go with dark bluish grey or light bluish grey for the entrances to the sort of like actual prison cells. I think I prefer the way light bluish grey looks, so I decided to go with that. I also added a couple of curved slopes below it to make it look a little bit better, and I think this is what I'm going to do going forwards along the entire hallway. Just add a little bit of extra colour. And you can see here now we have almost a full long hallway. I think this is looking a lot better. Obviously we have room for another prison cell there. We have some Wookiees in this one. I also have this white grills on one, and I have a dark bluish grey one on the other. I think I prefer the look of the dark bluish grey grill plates. And then obviously over here we did find a small cheese slope that goes really well with these control panels. I think I'll be using this across the whole way, and this was the one from the Guardians of the Galaxy ship on Rocket's gun, I believe. But yeah, then I went ahead and sort of raised up everything around it, finished off that last prison cell, and got everything up to the correct height, and made everything look pretty good right here. There are these two sections complete next to each other. There is a slight height difference between the two, so I've kind of raised them up so they look a little bit more similar right here. But you can see we have some nice different details in all of the prison cells. We have some nice curves above it as well, just to level out into the ceiling. I'm definitely going to have an absolute ton of lights. A few people suggested putting lights in here. Definitely going to have some cool lights in here, but you can see it just splits apart right here. This was kind of tricky because the door obviously hangs a little bit there, but I had to just connect it to the back a little bit to make it more stable. But I think this looks pretty good. I know the floor pattern isn't exactly perfect. It's a bit sort of like random, but I like it. I think it works pretty well. I do in fact have a couple of missing pieces just here, these inverted slopes I haven't got yet. They will look just like this, but otherwise we are pretty much finished. I do have this kind of quarrying in the prison cell here, but let me know who you think I should put in the prison cells. Obviously Wookiees are definitely a given, but what other things should we put into the prison cells? I think it'd be pretty cool if we could include some pretty good Easter eggs in right here. Now the next thing I worked on was a bit of foliage. Now this isn't permanent, this is definitely going to have to be raised up and changed a lot, but basically we're going to have a wall going up against where the actual hallway is, down right at the bottom of the level in the actual center of the mock, and this it will sort of have a few different trees climbing up it and stuff like that, and I really like the way I did this right here, so I think this turned out pretty well. But then working on a few things that I work on later in the video, I worked out that I'll have to be raising this up quite considerably. But yeah, this is kind of where the wall will be. I think I'll actually move the wall 2 studs to the right as well, so there'll be even more terrain, but this is looking pretty good. Yeah, looking at this video clip right here, you can kind of see what I'm working on with regards to where in the mock this is going to be. Now it's not going to be exactly accurate to this, but it'll be pretty accurate to this. So if you pause it right here, you can see the spinning section right in the center. That's the next thing we're going to be working on with the big sap vats. Then obviously we have the terrain here and then a raised up area here, and this basically where Cal stood right now will be where the actual hallway section is. So it's going to be really fun to create this. I'm going to sort of merge this one right here with some of the more famous sap vats as well, just to sort of combine two scenes together, and I think it's going to look really, really good. The next thing I ended up doing was actually just sort of going back to the drawing board and trying to work out a brief plan for what I'm going to do in this area right here. So you can see I'm just going ahead using my pretty rubbish sketching skills to go ahead and draw another diagram for this. I've actually moved this and changed this a lot since the one I did in the last episode. That little arrow right there symbolizes how it's getting sort of shallower and going further down as we go towards the bottom. And then you can see basically the squiggled out area on the right is the hallway. Then we have a couple of other areas that are going to be pretty crucial to this mock, including a hanging platform over the top of the actual sap vat, and then obviously the hashed out area is the sap vat itself. So now I went to work trying to recreate how this would look, and I do think that this was quite tricky. This took me quite a while to do, but I finally got a good technique down. But the first technique I went for was this one using these sort of like hinge bricks. I did want to sort of maybe use tiles and stuff like that to get over the top of the terrain and the plates. Obviously you can see the nougat right there is where the actual internal part will be, and then obviously the dark green is the actual sort of terrain outside of it. So it's quite a tricky, so I decided to scrap this technique because I really wasn't happy with it. You can see just smashed it up there. But I then went with another technique where we use these small hinge plates, and then we use some bigger slopes and stuff like this to hang over the front. I did want them like this, but then I would end up having the actual little knob piece right here hanging over the edge. So if you picture those dark bluish grey being medium nougat for the inside of the actual vat, I think that would work, but I don't really like it. So I went back to the drawing board and I came up with this basic skeleton that I actually found from a really cool builder named Realbist over on Instagram and everything like that. You definitely go check him out. There'll be links in the description down below. But he built this really cool sort of like vat from Jedi Fallen Order. His is going to be slightly different to mine because I have to incorporate different things such as the terrain around the outside. But this works perfectly. So I went ahead and now raised this up by a little bit just by adding these light bluish grey all the way around it. I actually realised later on I don't need light bluish grey, but it's going to be pretty good for here. I wanted to kind of have the terrain up against it like this. But the thing is, there's obviously going to be gaps, so I'm going to have to go ahead and add in something to cover up the gaps both on the inside and the outside. You can see for the inside, obviously I've got the slopes that will hang over the top of the actual medium nougat tiles, so that's not a problem. I can definitely cover up all these sort of like gaps here using the slopes that are around the outside. But with regards to the terrain on the outside, I had to think of something, and I went ahead and went with these sort of small pieces right here, which are these, I believe they're like panel pieces or something like that. They're really useful pieces either way, and I'm just going to overlap them slightly off of the back of the slopes, and this will definitely help to cover up the terrain. Obviously I'll have different various wedge plates and stuff like that, and tiles in obviously dark green going right around the outside. This is going to be something we come to in the next episode. But to finish off the episode here, guys, I have an absolute ton of progress for you, and you can see here is my finished or kind of finished area for the sap vat. Now I'm really happy with this. I actually went ahead and did a ton of this on a live stream with my friend AxiDroid. This was really good fun. So thank you to everyone who came along to that live stream. It was really good. But yeah, you can see pretty much all around the outside it covers up all of these medium nougat tiles, or where they meet the outside. So obviously they would be a bit more blurred between there. There'd be different sort of edges to it and stuff like that. But I think it looks really nice. And then I went ahead and added these pieces all the way around the outside. I'm missing a few still, so I'm gonna have to order a few more of those. But I think this is gonna look really good. Obviously then we're gonna actually have the main spinning piece in the center. I think I'm gonna have some sort of like just gear mechanism to allow this to spin. I think that'll look pretty nice right there. And then yeah, they're going to be all sorts of panels and pieces and stuff like that wrapping around the outside. And then obviously we can see here, this is the level of the terrain. So obviously the dark green there is the level of the terrain. And as we back out, obviously it's going to have to just slowly and steadily increase in height all the way to the wall. So we basically, by the time we get into this corner over here, we're going to have it obviously be much higher. So this is going to be pretty fun to work out how I'm going to do this entire section. Obviously still keeping most of those base plates modular. These two at the back will have to not be modular just purely because of the way this sap vat came together. I can't make it modular sadly, just because obviously I can't split the sap vat in half. So that's going to end up being just two big base plates. But the thing is, I probably won't even end up going to a convention with this mock, so I don't think that really matters. I just kind of did the modularity for both ease of use and also just in case I went to a convention or something like that. But definitely let me know what you think of this sap vat. I think it's going to look really good once it's fully covered in medium nougat, and obviously have a load more things on top of there, including some different different pipes and different platforms and stuff like that from the game. Then of course wrapping all the way around the outside and the back, and obviously the right and left, there will be small platforms and stuff like that to stand on, and I think even at the edge as well there will be a platform hovering over it onto the actual front section as well. So this is going to be pretty fun to work on. I'm actually really enjoying the process so far, and I can't wait to get some more building process done on this next episode. And yeah guys, that is everything I had to do this week. I hope you enjoyed this episode of building KASHYYYK. Obviously it's good to be back to building again. I really do enjoy it, and I did really miss it when I was away. Honestly, just thinking about getting back to building the prison sections and stuff like that was really sort of keeping me motivated and stuff, and I'm really excited to do more work on this mock. If you have any feedback, again as always, leave it in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching guys, I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like on the video if you did, and obviously hit that subscribe button if you are not subscribed already. We're still going for 50,000 subscribers in 2022. But yeah, have a great day guys, I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.